everybody. Welcome to another episode of Psicoactivo podcast. Today, I'm gonna make some clarifications on Tucker Carlson. I know that a lot of people in the comments with my previous Tucker video gave me a lot of their mind about what they think of Tucker, right? And yes, I agree. He has some questionable practices in journalism throughout his career, but the most early parts of his career, I would say. He's been saying that he unknowingly spread misinformation. He recognizes that he was part of this apparatus that was dedicated to spreading misinformation, especially during the times of Afghanistan, all those times. And Tucker, I don't think he'll ever stop apologizing for that. Not to say that I agree with anything the guy says, because I happen to, my whole family are Catholics, but my household specifically, we're agnostics. We never been practicing Catholics, and very secular, very scientific. My mother's a doctor. My father's a doctor. My brother's an engineer, a computer engineer. So I've grown on the more scientific part of this. And I did struggle for many years with understanding some books that I read that I found to be fantasy in many ways and science fiction. But now that I'm studying this more openly and more thoroughly, I've come to realize that maybe some aspects of this paranormal phenomena may have something to them. There's some balloons for you. And where I still do not agree with, I'm sorry, but this is going to be very difficult for me to accept, is that organized religion is a doctrine that we should all follow. I don't think that for a second. I believe in people's faiths. I do. I think it's beautiful having a faith in something. What I do not believe in is organized religion. And essentially religions, the Abrahamic religions, were the very first political system to control the masses that ever existed in our history, the history that we know. And although I think that it has its benefits, I don't think that the times we live in should have the same type of control system since it was created. So there's a lot of people that live by what the Bible says, and it is true that many of the oldest texts kind of tell a similar story. They all have a flood myth. They all have like similar beats. That may be indicative that this stuff is, at least they believe it happened. A lot of people wrote about it from different accounts. So I think there was a belief that it happened. And I think that what Tucker is alluding to right now is that specific part. I'm going to play you guys a clip right now on the commonalities that he sees between all world religions and creation myths. Here's the video right here. Okay, so that's interesting. As I told you, I don't think it's healthy to judge a person like Tucker Carlson or any other person based on their religious beliefs. We can judge them by who they talk to and how qualified are those people that they talk to. The fact that Tucker believes this is spiritual or supernatural, that's his belief. And he's not trying to say that we should believe what he believes. That's just what he believes. He can't really prove any of it. And in this interview with Shawn Ryan, he keeps repeating that because it's true. He can't prove any of the things that he believes, at least not now. You know, maybe in the future, uh, more roads will open and they'll give him a chance to prove some of this stuff. But it also goes to show how we, as human beings, are physically and biologically limited to perceive things that are around us. And in this other clip that I'm going to play from Tucker, I believe that's what he means when he says that, because the example that I always use is, look at how a hawk has a very different capacity to look at stuff from a very long distance in order to get their meals. And look how limited our eyesight is in terms of that, you know? That's how, where the phrase is like, I can see like a hawk, or I have like, you know, the heart of a lion, or stuff like that, you know? I think that it has something to do with that, the fact that we're not equipped to see all aspects of what reality actually is. We have this materialistic conception of what reality is, but there are a lot of stuff that we still cannot explain, and the fact that we can't explain them makes us just move away from them, you know, or discard them as woo stuff. And I don't think that's advisable, if you ask me. Why is it that before a certain point in time, Tucker talks about 1945, for example, when the atomic bomb was released? Why is it that we moved towards a place of not believing what countless generations before us thought of as the truth or as part of reality? Why did we move away from that? Why did we turn our backs on such massive ancient knowledge? That's what I don't get, and I don't agree with it. I don't know if you know this, but I come from a family of shamans. Right now, I have shamans in my family, and they see reality in a very different light than I do, for example. And I'm their family, you know? And I think that we need to reconnect with that aspect of humanity, the more ancient knowledge aspect of it, if we want to understand this phenomenon better. I wholeheartedly believe that. And this other part where Tucker talks about, okay, I'm gonna play you the video, the second video, right here. Okay, and then the last part I wanted to touch on with Tucker was the who he's been talking to, right? Because he's been talking to people from the intelligence community, he's been talking to other journalists, he's been talking to researchers, but right now one of the biggest names in the UAP Disclosure Fund, for example, or the Soul Foundation, is Dr. Gary Nolan. And I can tell you for sure that Dr. Nolan is a first-hand witness, an experiencer. And Tucker has been talking mostly to him, but also Lou Elizondo and other people. And that's who he's trusting. But that is not to say that there aren't other whistleblowers and other people from the intelligence community who have deeper knowledge than they do, you know? We've talked about how Carl Nell might be the one that knows the most out of these people that are more public with their endeavor of trying to find disclosure. And this is another video of Tucker talking about this and what led him to believe that's the case, that supernatural and spiritual aspect that he thinks is happening. Here's the video right here. So, what do y'all think of this? I know people are against Carlson. I'm not American, so I remember that old video of a debate he had with Jon Stewart, where Jon was like actually the guest on his show, and Jon was going to town with him and put him in on the spot and stuff like that. And yeah, I know that Carlson is very polarizing with a lot of people. A lot of people don't like him, don't like the way he conducts himself. But it is important to note that he did part ways with one of the most corrupt news organizations ever. and now he's doing his own thing. And there's a lot of stuff that he's covering that wouldn't be covered by any mainstream media, and now he has the chance to do it, and he's doing it. So for that alone, I think people should at least hear him out on stuff. You can always not agree with anything he says, but and I'm not saying that this spiritual aspect of the phenomenon is not real. It may well be, but I just think that people with a more an inclination for religion are the ones who tend to believe in this, and the people who are more scientific try to respond to this in a different light and seek for other theories that could also be plausible, i.e., the future humans hypothesis from Dr. Masters, or the whole hypothesis made on Passport to Magonia from Dr. Jacques Vallée that talks about the phenomenon being an entity that has played with our perception for millennia. That can also be true. And it can be true for these people who believe in angels and demons and all this stuff. And I'm not disparaging them. I'm not going against them. They have their beliefs, and that's okay. At the end of the day, if that's true too, I mean, I would be surprised, to be honest with you, but well, we don't know these days, you know? So I want to ask you what you think about what Tucker said in these 3 clips. I want to thank the guys from Skyfire News for clipping this. Shout out to the Skyfire News team. And I want to thank you guys for being involved in these videos and commenting and leaving me your thoughts. They don't go unnoticed. I want to ask you, if you find value in this video, please share, like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel move forward, and it goes a long way. And I'm always grateful for that. So thank you. And without further ado, that's going to be the video for today. Until next time, bye-bye.